What's up, guys? This is Ray and welcome to Asian Filmist, and today we're going to be talking about the 2018 Japanese film 51st Kisses, directed by Fukuda Yuichi and starring Yamada, Takayuki and Nagasawa Masami. And it's a remake of the Adam Sandler movie 51st Dates. Admittedly, I watched 51st Dates back when I was younger. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I was a fan of Adam Sandler back in the day. That era of Adam Sandler movies. Not so much nowadays. So with this remake, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Fukuda Yuichi, hentai kamen, even the hero Yoshihiko. I love his style of humor. And I felt, okay, this is going to be obviously a different take on the source material. Granted, the original one was a romantic comedy as well, but that was Adam Sandler comedies. And I knew upon starting up the DVD of 51st Kisses that I was going to get that story, but with more Fukuda Yuichi kind of humor. And if you've seen 51st Dates, you know the story of 51st Kisses, but as a refresher, it's about a guy who in this movie is named Daisuke. And he lives in Hawaii. And one day he meets and falls in love with this girl named Rui, falls in love at first sight in this cafe. And they hit it off. They have a good time together. But when he goes back to the restaurant and he sees her there, he tries to speak with her again. But it seems like she just forgets every single thing about Daisuke, has no recollection of him at all, much to his surprise and confusion. But he is informed by some of the restaurant staff that Rui suffers from a kind of condition caused by brain trauma from an accident that happened a few years back. And because of that, she can't ever recall what happened in the previous day. But despite Rui's condition of memory loss, Daisuke can't help but just be in love with her and just pursues Rui despite all the obstacles thrown his way. So for the positives of 51st Kisses, well, it's funny as hell. I mean, as I hinted before, Fukuda Yuichi's work never ceases to make me laugh, and 51st Kisses is no exception at all. I mean, first of all, you have Fukuda Yuichi's regulars. You have Satojiro and Muro Tsuyoshi, and those two together are just hella funny. And then you have Yamada Takayuki. He's the lead character in Yoshihiko. And I think, while he isn't as animated and humorous as Satojiro and Muro Tsuyoshi, well, not necessarily animated. They're more of kind of just awkward, kind of deadpan type of comedy. And, they bring it in this movie. But Yamada Takayuki, he's more of a deadpan, cool, kind of awkward, what the hell kind of situation am I in kind of comedy. And, it hasn't changed much in this movie. And I feel like in this movie, and it definitely feels like it happens in Fukuda's other works, is that there are a lot of scenes of improvisation between the characters. I don't know for sure if they're improvisation, but they definitely feel like it. Just with how rapid fast the dialogue is and just how sharp everything is spoken. You can't script some of these moments. Some of these moments were just ridiculously funny. And I think all my favorite moments involve either Satojiro or Muro Tsuyoshi. I absolutely love these guys whenever they're in a film, especially if it's a film or work directed by Fukuda Yuichi. It's absolutely hilarious. And of course you have Nagasawa Masami. I think she can't never be kind of like the cute, innocent looking sweetheart. And I still felt she brought that same kind of charm as she usually does to her movies. And I think she was a great casting in portraying what Drew Barrymore's character was. I thought they kind of have the same type of atmosphere, same kind of aura when it comes to the characters they portray. Granted, Adam Sandler is nowhere near the same as Yamada Takayuki. Yamada is a lot cooler, But when the two had their moments, I thought it was genuinely cute. I enjoyed it. Yamada Takayuki, I think he's more of a cool character actor as opposed to a romantic lead. Granted, he was in Train Man, Densha Otoko. And, he was great in that, but I think nowadays he's kind of made himself to be a kind of cool actor. And that brings to mind something I'm kind of half and half about, and is that Yamada can be maybe so cool that it's hard for him to play some of the scenes that require a lot of emotional range, more specifically the dramatic moments of this movie. Or it's either that, or because his character is stuck so much in the comedic aspects of the role that it's kind of weird for him to jump back and forth from that into the more dramatic scenes. And another thing that I'm kind of half and half about is that this movie, the way the story progresses, it's pretty much exactly like the original. I think that's fine, especially if you just want a straight up remake, but it's nice to have something different to look forward to. Granted, there are a few minor details that are changed up for this movie. For example, Daisuke's dream. I can't remember exactly what Adam Sandler's character's dream was while he was in Hawaii, but I know it was a lot different than what Daisuke or Yamada Takayuki's characters was. And, and obviously a big change is that you don't get the Adam Sandler humor, you get the Fukuda Yuichi humor, which I think is a plus. And another thing I'm kind of half and half about is the usage of English in this movie. Granted, I admire when Japanese actors, not just Japanese actors, but those actors who are not, in which English is not their native tongue at all, when they attempt to speak when they attempt to do a role that requires a lot of English speaking, and that includes the roles of Yamada Takayuki and Nagasawa Masami. They speak a lot of English in this movie, and they did their best. It's not the best pronunciations of English at all, but I think it did well enough, I guess, just to get the point across. And when the time calls for the English to be comedic, it definitely delivers. But when it comes to just carrying a regular conversation and and convincing the audience that they live in Hawaii, where you would speak English every day, I don't know if they're convincing enough. As far as the negatives I have to say about 50 First Kisses, well, I thought anyone who wasn't a Japanese actor in this movie just wasn't up to par. I don't know if they cast them while in Hawaii, because they definitely look like they were from Hawaii, but they didn't have, their acting was very unnatural. You could tell they were just amateurs, maybe friends of friends. I don't know. I'm speaking specifically about the staff of the restaurant, staff of the cafe, which Daisuke meets Rui, because their performances, it felt like they were pretty much just reading off of a script. It was totally flat, and you can tell they were there just to kind of add to the atmosphere and also to let Daisuke know the backstory for exposition, essentially. And also, there was a little girl who was supposed to be the daughter of one of the characters, but the way she acted around that character, it didn't feel like that she was there. You knew that she was just kind of a girl they probably cast through auditions in Hawaii. She spoke perfect English, of course, so you knew that she wasn't that she was from the area, but she was acting so kind of shy and fearful around the character she was supposedly a daughter of, and it was just awkward. It was just so awkward. And lastly, it felt like the comedic elements of this story definitely overpowered the romantic parts. And for many of us, that might not be essentially a negative. It might actually be a positive, because if you're a fan of Fukuda Yuichi, you want the comedy. But just looking overall at it, if you look, it didn't have a good balance of romance and comedy. It was like 70% comedy and 30% romance, or at least 30% convincing romance, because when it came to the romantic parts, I don't think it was as convincing as it should be. And not just romantic parts, just the dramatic parts in general, because you just look at these characters, these actors, just expecting to laugh, and then suddenly they do these dramatic scenes, and you just can't be convinced by them, because you just want to laugh at more of their jokes. But like I said, that might not necessarily be a negative to some of us. So overall, what did I think of 50 First Kisses? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's as being a remake is concerned, it's a copy and paste of the original. Granted, I think it has enough of Fukuda Yuichi, so that way it's a different experience than what you probably had when watching 50 First Dates. And if you're a Fukuda Yuichi fan, I think you'll find a lot of things to enjoy about this movie. And even though I personally wasn't 100% convinced about the romantic parts of the story, as a fan of Fukuda Yuichi, I absolutely enjoyed it. It was funny as all hell, and it was funny as what I would hope from a Fukuda movie. And because of that, I definitely give my recommendation for this movie. But yes, those are my thoughts on 50 First Kisses. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you really enjoy my content, please know you can support Asian Filmists via Patreon from as little as $1. And that's about it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you all again in the next video. Take it easy.